Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Wilson again. I hope everybody's doing really good. Today I'm going to read you a story, one of my very favorite books that I like to read at school. It's called Cordoroy, and it's about a little teddy bear that gets lost. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you today. Cordoroy by Don Freeman. He is the author of our story. He's also the illustrator. He did both. He wrote the words and he drew the pictures. So here we go. Cordoroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Cordoroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear that I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent way too much money already. Besides, he doesn't even look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Cordoroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," thought Cordoroy. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Later that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Cordoroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up, up, up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. "I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain." Is that a mountain, boys and girls? Of course it's not. It's an escalator, but poor Cordoroy, he didn't know that. He's just a stuffed animal. He thought it was a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace, thought Cordoroy. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. Is that a palace? A palace is like a castle, right? Of course it's not a palace. It's a store, but Cordoroy doesn't know that. He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round like a circle. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He pulled and he yanked with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Cordoroy toppled, bang, into a tall floor lamp, and over it fell with a flash. Cordoroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy ears sticking out from under the covers. "Well, hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl who he had seen only the day before. Do you recognize her from the beginning of the story? "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you are going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" asked the saleslady. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa said. She carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in that department store he had been living in. "This must be home," he thought. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," said Lisa, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and then she gave Corduroy a big hug. The end. I hope you enjoyed our story today. Our next story that I'm going to read to you is a sequel to Cordoroy. It goes with the story. It's a continuation of his little life as a bear. So I'll see you next time. I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday. I love you. Bye.